Someone. Yes, I'm trying to think. That was the first time I'd written any lyrics, actually, for any of Kenny's music. He asked me to do lyrics to one of the songs, Song for Someone. That's possibly where I met you.
I think so.
That was amazingly fresh when I heard it again, when it was reissued on CD, because we're talking about 1972 it was recorded.
Yeah, something like that.
I know I was pregnant at the time, and I think it was 72, yeah. But I think that was the beginning of him writing a lot of stuff for big band, and
maybe after that he had a broadcast every year?
Every year, yeah.
I remember ones where the emphasis was more on woodwinds,
yes,
or only brass, or
there was something he wrote for 13 musicians as well. Yes, it was.
I think he always set himself a slightly different challenge each year, but a lot of the same faces that, Duncan and Henry.
Yes. All there.
Yeah.
For me, it was wonderful because it was a great opportunity to sing lines, which is in a way what I'd always loved to be part of the music rather than being the featured solo singer, out front. And I think I learnt a hell of a lot just from sitting next to Ken and trying to match his sound, when we were in unison. I think it really affected my sound. It was just a goal that I had to try to just get that, I don't know, that fullness that he had. It was absolutely beautiful.
And the breathing, very, very
and bright,
relaxed
and
breathing, full.
That danger of sort of going for notes that he does.
Well, he said, I could just write you out a few long notes, that would be all right. I said, well, yeah, that would be all right. And then each year, there'd be one or two shorter notes. So basically, to the extent that I can read at all, it's because Kenny just wouldn't accept that, come on. It was a kind of encouragement,
He always wrote for people as well, in a way like Ellington did for the members of his band.
Yeah.
He would make sections, wouldn't he, where he'd have you and Paul Rutherford was in 1 year, wasn't he? And or a couple of years, I'm sure.
Or those interludes on Song for Someone, which were really the same idea carried over from the Windmill Tilter, where there's small group interludes between. But on Song for Someone, I think I did something with Derek Bailey, very out kind of stuff, really. And he never said, "Oh, could you play a little bit more inside?" Nothing. It was just that's free.
Well, that's what he wanted. I think he wanted exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the wonderful thing about it.
I think probably Dave Holland and me both talking to Manfred very early on about Kenny and saying it would be great. You should check him out. You know, you should do something. I think Manfred is a character that picks up what people are saying. If the word is on, you know, Mr. X or Miss Y,
yes.
he'll hear it
Yeah.
and he'll check it out. And I think that must have been what happened. You know, okay, it's like, okay, if Evan Parker says he's good, Dave Holland says he's
Must
good,
be.
okay, I'll check him out.
Yeah.
You know, and what a first record to have Keith Jarrett, Dave Holland, Jack DeJohnette. It's quite a good way to start your relationship with a record company.
Yeah. When John Taylor went to see Manfred with a duo demo that we had done, me and him, at one point Manfred said, "Oh, I can hear a flugel with the voice." And why don't we bring Kenny in? So we were thrilled.
Fantastic.
You know, so that's how Azimuth came about. So I mean, Manfred is kind of a manager.
Yeah.
Organises things. And gets
that's the first
together.
time I've heard that story.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Funny that Ken says, "Oh, I write all these sad songs," and his melodies are often melancholy, but he's so funny as a person, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's just almost he keeps the funny side away from music and away from what he writes. Which of course wouldn't work, I'm sure. Funny music.
Song titles.
Yes, it goes into the song titles. That's right. I don't know about fun, but he was funny. He would make you laugh. I always remember one time John Taylor and I and him, Kenny, we were at an airport, and while we were sitting there, we started discussing different genres of music, and I remember saying to Kenny had said nothing. I say we were discussing, John and I were, and Ken sat there, and I said, "Well, for instance, what would you call Debussy?" And Ken said, "I just call him Claude." That was it. That's all he said.
It's a kind of droll humour, isn't it?
But you wouldn't guess that sometimes from looking at him, would you?
I suppose the only free trumpet playing being done at that point was Don Cherry, and Kenny doesn't play he doesn't play like Don Cherry, and he's just carried on developing that side of his trumpet playing and flugelhorn playing, so that he has almost a separate life as a free player.
But it's always melodic, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's improvising almost always.
Yeah.
It's
still the way I feel when I'm sitting next to him. It's such an honour to have lived a musical life alongside a person who's given so much.
That's absolutely
and
how,
helped so many musicians.
That's absolutely how I feel too. It's just a privilege to have been able to sit next to him or stand next to him, rather, you know, on all the occasions that I have done. And always he would play something. There'd be something, at least, even if it's usually more than one thing in an evening, that would just take your breath away.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he always, in his solos, he never finished a phrase where you expect him to finish it. He seems to like go around a corner and finish up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which is, oh, God, who would have thought of that?
That is a mark of the real special ones.